Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Is this on? I hope it's on. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Good afternoon to people in the Midwest and on the East Coast. Good morning. Still morning. Yeah. Good morning to people on the West Coast. How's it going? This is TNT JoeFi, hashtag TNT JoeFi, tech news that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. This is episode I lost count, and this is day in quarantine. I also lost count. How's it going, guys? How you doing? I do have to apologize. I know it's a lot later today for the start of the show, but if you guys didn't see earlier this morning, I had a video that posted out at 8 o'clock. It was like a scheduled post, and it was round 3 of, and I'll share it here real quick. It was round 3 of the iPhone SE versus the Pixel 4. I was up I was up yesterday until 5:30 in the morning. So that's why it was so late. That's why I was late today, because I didn't have a chance to sleep. And then I got up and I'm like, okay, I got to work out. And then, yeah. So that's why I'm an hour late. But if you guys haven't had a chance, I did put this video out testing night shots on the iPhone SE and the Pixel 4. And then not only night shots with photos, but also with video. I also tested what am I trying to say here? Night mode on, or night sight on and night sight off. If you want a quick gist of how this came to be, for the most part, the Pixel 4 is still the superior camera at night. The only weird thing is, the Pixel 4 still has some hiccups with the photo quality overall. But and actually, since we're here, a lot of this has to do with like the yellowish tint that happens with the Pixel 4. And you know what? Somebody, I think, left a comment and they were like, well, why? So this is right here. If you're looking at this, you see how yellow it is. That's without night mode, or without night sight, whatever. But with night sight on, it completely changes that white balance. And somebody in the comments posted, well, why are you shooting without, see, there you go, right? And someone had asked, and they said, well, why are you not shooting with night sight? And I'm like, well, I am, but here's the thing: is a lot of people who might not see this happening is when you shoot with night sight on the Pixel 4 and even on the Pixel 3, sometimes the shots are a little too bright. And sometimes night sight doesn't work as well as it should. It kind of overdoes it, where the night shot now doesn't look like a night shot. So for anyone who's asking, that's why. That's not something that I actually experience issues with on my iPhone 11 Pro. For the most part, the white balance is almost always the same. Why is someone being apologetic of a yellow shot when it shouldn't be this yellow? So here's a perfect example. This shot here on the Pixel 4, look at how warm this shot is. This isn't how it should be. This isn't with any kind of night mode right here. And this is how the white balance is. This is a much more realistic, natural version of night mode on the iPhone SE. And the reason there are arrows here is because this building is painted yellow. And you can't even tell that it's yellow because it's so here's night sight on. And obviously it corrects it. But why is it not at least giving me this kind of white balance without night sight on? Anyway, you guys can watch the rest. I just wanted to share it since it was on here. Let me go into stream real quick and say hi to everybody. I see Mint Arcade earlier was asking if I checked out the 2 links. I did, Mint Arcade. I actually have them as my 2 end stories. I will go through those today. Thank you for sharing that. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Tobez is in here too. What up, guys? What up, Tobez? How you doing? Nwajagu. Hope you're doing well. Middle Crip 89 says, hey man, I've been seeing a lot of coverage for the TCL 10. I was wondering how you feel about it. I don't know much about the TCL 10. I did do a kind of review, just kind of reading over it, and it's a fairly decently priced phone. It's a decently priced phone. But are you looking at the TCL 10 Pro? I think what's good about it is it has decent specs, but I don't know about the chipset. I can't remember anymore. And I know the cameras aren't going to be anything special, but what's your price point, or what price point are you looking at? Let me know, Metal Crib. Also, by the way, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. I see Aaron Jude, DZ. It's night here. Good evening, Aaron. I know that I'm here in the US, and when I say good morning and good afternoon, I keep forgetting that I have a lot of people who are coming in here too who are international. So good evening, Aaron. Where are you from, by the way? I don't know if I've seen you here before, so glad you could make it to the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. Will says Apple fanboy. Hey, Will, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Real quick, guys, before I do continue, the one thing I also do want to share, and I had a couple people become members yesterday, but I actually offer something now on YouTube where you can be a member of my channel. And how this membership works is, so for example, if you look above and you see Mint Arcade, his comment is in green. His name is in green. And you'll also see he has a red Chicago star next to his name. And that's one of the perks for being a member. And that's only something you can do for $1 a month. This is something that I'm switching over from Patreon. So for anybody who becomes a member, even for $1 a month, you get that red Chicago star next to your name, which I think is pretty cool. But you also get custom emoji you can use. And, it's a way to support. I'm not the best salesman. I'm really awful at doing these kind of things, but there are also different tiers. So at $4.99 a month, you get access to my private Discord. And then at $10 a month, you would be able to actually catch any of those camera comparisons I put out before anyone else gets to see it. And then there are other tiers and whatever, and I'll go through that later. But, again, I'm not the best at this. This isn't my thing. Hold on, I didn't mean to go to that screen, but let me close this out for now, or at least minimize it. And again, real quick, guys, if you're new or you're just coming in, please feel free to like the video. Liking the video helps me in some algorithmic way, aka I think it helps people find the stream, which would be great. Also, if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. I do stream Monday through Friday at around 12 p.m. Central, except for today. It's 1 p.m. because I was up until 5:30 editing yesterday's video. But yeah, before I start, let me go through chat real quick again. I see Ross in here. Ross, what's going on, man? Ross is one of the guys that I work with at Hardlands Media. Ross, nice to see you in here. Appreciate you stopping by. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, man. Mint Arcade says review college fund. Am I missing something? What am I missing? Anyway, let me continue on here. Okay, so the first story that I want to talk about today is I want to actually talk about this Android 11 public beta online launch show or whatever. So this is supposedly replacing Google I/O, which typically happens at around mid-May, end of May, and now they're actually pushing that until a month later into June. And I think, they were saying a big reason that they're doing that is because, of COVID-19, the whole pandemic going on. And so what ended up happening is now they're doing some online show for it. And actually, we'll watch the video. I don't know if I'm going to get a copyright thing for it, but whatever. I feel like it's something to share. And, I wanted to watch it because there's if you guys haven't seen it, we'll go through it right now. So June 3rd. Oh shit, there's no audio. God damn it. Hold on. I'm sorry guys. Let's start over. Here we go.
On June 3rd, you're invited to attend Android 11, the beta launch show. But this launch won't be like any other launch. It won't be held here. You'll find it here.
So it's all remote.
Here, and here. Don't worry, we'll be ready.
It is George Takai speaking.
Updates and announcements on connectivity, controls, safety, security, productivity, accessibility, and a whole bunch of other stuff we're not ready to tell you about yet. Oh my. Let's hope that doesn't leak. Android 11 beta is here. Just not here. More like here.
It's gonna get leaked for sure. I'm sure there's gonna be some stuff that's gonna get leaked. I think one of the big things that I'm looking forward to is to see what is coming for Android 11. Obviously, the developer preview has been out, so if you haven't, you can check that developer preview to see what kind of features Android 11 is offering. And I'm actually going to go through some of that today because right now we were at Android Developer Preview 3. And because this happened, they actually ended up launching Android Developer Preview 4. I don't know what's in it yet, but we're going to kind of go into it so we can see what, is in store for Android 11. This is weird to see them calling it a beta launch show. I'm just used to Google I/O. I'm used to having all these new things they're talking about during their conference. And then usually that's when they would debut, I would have assumed, the Pixel 4a. Now, does that mean the Pixel 4a is going to get pushed a little later? Is it going to get pushed here in June? I don't think so. It might come out before that, but I mean, who knows? Maybe that's when they're going to be putting that out. So there's this well, I guess I could have read this article too. So it says here, Google will announce the first public beta for Android 11 in a live stream at 11 a.m. Eastern time on June 3rd. Google is promising that the live stream will have news, updates, and announcement on connectivity, controls, safety, security, productivity, accessibility, and more. Whether that means they're going to be putting out new hardware, I don't really know either. Google's live stream will also include a Q&A segment with Android VP Dave Burke. So what I wanted to add on here is this article from Android Police is talking about how Android 11 Developer Preview 4 is dropping today. Previously, Google said there would only be 3 Android 11 Developer Preview releases, obviously, because that's how they've been doing it for years. That's what I'm used to seeing. But the company is making a few changes to its Android 11 release schedule, and that includes this unexpected additional developer preview. The next beta release has been moved to June 3rd, where it will be dropped as part of a new beta launch show online event. So I'll be watching that. I actually look forward to those kind of things to see, what's going on with Android and what the future holds. Google says that this tweaked timeline is the result of challenges posed to developers as a result of current events. The extra month will give them more time before Android 11's changes reach the platform stability milestone, and an extra month for developers to get Android 11 apps ready for testing. In essence, the whole schedule has been moved forward by about a month. In addition to the June 3rd beta launch show, beta 2 has been kicked back to July and beta 3 to August. So real quick, let's kind of discuss what things you can find in Android, or what things you can find in Android 11 and what's already been shown. So like here, require eyes to be open setting for face unlock on the Pixel 4. That was something that I was bitching about for a while on my Pixel 4. I was able to unlock my phone while closing my eyes, and they fixed that, and they've now moved it into Android 10. So that's not really a thing for Android 11 anymore. Wireless ADB, non-developer types won't care, but Android 11 DP2 added proper wireless debugging with code and QR-based pairing. Now, I don't know if wireless ADB might be the future also for having a portless phone. I mean, for them to be able to do wireless ADB, I think is pretty cool. Always on display clock style customizations, only one option as of DP2, but the styles and wallpaper menu in settings now has a tab for customizing the clock visible when using the always on display. And then screen recording. That's the thing I've been waiting for the most for Android. I don't know why it's taken so long. Apple's had it now for a bit, and it works really well. And it's something I actually use pretty frequently. And it's kind of a sore spot that Android doesn't have it yet. Yeah, can you get third-party ones? Sure, you can get third-party ones, but I would rather have one that's baked in. I'd rather have that instead. GPS improvements, we know it was coming. We knew it was coming to the Pixel 4 with Android 11, and Google says Android 11 will deliver enhanced GNSS performance for even greater location accuracy. I thought that was already enabled for the Pixel 4. So the way GNSS works is, I can't remember the technical details. I remember I went through this before, but GNSS essentially means that it can pinpoint where you're at almost to a T. A lot better than what it is right now. Rear double tap gesture gets new features, works better. The base feature first arrived in Developer Preview 1, but DP2 adds some extra functionality like the ability to take screenshots and better rejection tuning for the gesture itself. Notification history, now accessible without workarounds. First appearing in DP1, DP2 gives the useful new notification history feature a dedicated location and settings, plus an easy shortcut from the notification shade itself. And my phone just fell. My iPhone SE just fell. God damn it. Files by Google replaces the old Files app. File Picker gets new sort options, confirmed SIM deletion toggle, updated wallpaper picker. So there's a good amount of updates. I'm not going to go through all of this. There is a good amount though, and I do look forward to Android 11. It's always nice to see them, keep improving on the software. Well, I don't know how much of it is really going to be behind the scenes and how much of it, we're going to be able to interface with. But I'm sure there are other big features that I'm missing right now. But, we can talk about that too. So real quick, let me scroll back here. I see Brian in here. I also see Brian with the super chat. I'm going to get to that in a second. Brian, thanks everyone for joining the stream. Thank you, Brian, for sharing that. And Brian with the $1 super chat. Real quick, Brian, thank you so much for the support. I do appreciate it, man. Brian also became a new member on YouTube yesterday, just like Mint Arcade. That's why if you guys see, he has green in his name, and then there's a red Chicago star next to it. That is a perk, even for 99 cents a month. You get that for being a member. Plus, you'll get like access to other things depending on what tier you're at. I'm going to promote it because I'm here right now. But real quick, if you guys are interested, you can just click the join button and you'll get that red Chicago star next to your name. Plus, it's just a way to support me. If you can't find that join button, you can also go to youtube.com/PhoneJerome/join. But again, I do thank everybody for stopping by. Brian, thank you so much for the support. Let me see here. I see Hackney Man as well. What's up, peeps? What up, Hackney Man? How's it going, man? How you doing? Glad you could make it to the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. Tobin says here, what about the LG Velvet price, which is a flop? That's actually my next story. I don't understand the people working in the mobile devices. We're going to talk about that. Every time Tovas is in here, he's always talking about the Velvet. But yeah, I want to talk about that too. That's actually my next story. So why 2019? Hi, everyone. Hey, why? What's going on, man? How you doing? Tomorrow, new Mediatek processors and LG Velvet events will happen. Oh, yeah, that's right. What time is that online event? I wonder if I can do that live. Would you guys well, I don't know. I'm sure you guys want to watch the live stream, not watch me watch the live stream. That would be weird. But yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. And god damn it, I forgot about that MediaTek processor. Why? If you get a chance and you could drop a link, let me know and I can talk about that. Hackney Man says here was looking at reviews for the Xiaomi Mi 9, which has the 730 processor, same as the 4A. Apparently, there's no real downgrade in performance during day-to-day use. That's great news. I like hearing that. Thank you for sharing that. Is that Xiaomi Mi 9 available right now? Is that actually priced well too? I don't know. I have no. I keep reading about Xiaomi stuff, and I keep thinking I've said it before, but maybe I haven't. So yeah, let me know. I'll take a look at that Mi 9. So let me see here. Metal Crip says, I'd like to see what I could get for 400 to 500 at most, but I've been seeing a lot of really good coverage for the TCL 10L for 250 with 6 gigs of RAM and the Snapdragon 665. So here's the thing though, Metal Crip, is I don't know how good that 665 is. I don't know. But here's the thing too. Let me ask you this. So if $500 is your limit, I don't know what your priorities are, but the OnePlus 7T you can get right now for $499, brand new, inbox, sealed. Is that something that you would be interested in, or are you looking for something cheaper? Just curious. I mean, I know 500 is your upper limit, so maybe you're looking for something cheaper, but maybe that price will go down too. I mean, there are things to think about, like, so even if, I mean, for $250 though, that's not bad for a 665, I guess. I'm not really, I can't say with confidence how good a 665 chipset is. I know $250 is a cheaper price point. I know the Moto G7 I had, I think, was a 6 something processor, and I had lag with it. Now, people might say I might be nitpicky with that lag, but like, it bothers me. At least for me, it does. I don't know how much you use your phone or how heavy-handed you are with it, but I'm thinking maybe you might want to wait at least for a 700 series chipset. Like the Pixel 4a is going to have a 730, just like we're talking about. That's going to be $399. Just something to consider. So, okay, let me see here. I see Levin in here too. What's good, everyone? Hey, Levin, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yeah, Levin also says Swappa is always an option. So it definitely is. Definitely is. Okay, let's move on, guys. Let's talk about LG. Let's talk about this Velvet. I talked about this yesterday. I went through, the colors. I think the colors look really good on the LG Velvet. We actually saw this video yesterday. I don't want to play the audio here, but they have really good colors with it. The display looks really nice. The whole package looks good. I think the only thing about it, it has a Snapdragon 765 chipset in it, but it still has a good amount of RAM. It has a good amount of storage. The display looks really nice. I don't know about the camera. I don't know about the UI, but it's IP68, dust and water resistant. It has a 3.5mm headphone jack. It's going to have a quad DAC in it. It has a bunch of stuff. It has a bunch of good stuff on it, but so this update from Android Police, and somebody mentioned this yesterday too, is the pricing. So a day ahead of the Velvet's official unveiling, LG has revealed its price for the South Korean market. Now, this is the South Korean market. This doesn't mean this is what it's going to price in the US, but it is a good indicator of what it probably will be. The handset gets a retail price tag of KRW 899,800, which is about $735 US. That is way more expensive than I thought this phone was going to be, while those going for the carrier locked variant can avail significant discounts. In comparison, last year's G8 ThinQ with the then flagship Snapdragon 855 chip. So remember here, this G8 ThinQ has an 855 chipset. This LG Velvet's going to have a 700 series chipset, and last year's model was priced at $732, so right around the same price point. I don't understand why it's still so much. As it was previously told, the Velvet will ship starting May 15 in the East Asian market with no detail on its international availability. I guess we'll see tomorrow what availability it's going to be or where it's going to be coming out first. But This also scares me about the Pixel 5 because the Pixel 5 is going to have the Snapdragon 765. And now it's making me wonder what they're going to price the Pixel 5 at. If this LG Velvet is going to be priced at even $700, even $600, that's a lot more than I am willing to pay. $500 was my limit. And now to think that I'm going to be paying for a mid-range chipset. I mean, yes, if it performs as well as the Snapdragon 855, that's great. But I don't know. I still think that's way too much for something with a 700 series chipset. $700? That's, I mean, you could get a OnePlus 8 for $700, right? Yeah, you can get a OnePlus 8 that has a Snapdragon 865 chipset in there. Why wouldn't you buy a Snapdragon 855 plus chipset from last year and save more money? I mean, the OnePlus 7T is $500 right now. And yeah, I don't know. So you're going to spend $200 more because you want 5G. That's still not really ready for prime time yet. Waste of money. If you ask me, waste of money. You know, you're going to still get better performance out of that 7T unless the cameras are going to be like, you know, spectacular on the LG Velvet, and I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to be anything above and beyond. You know, the Pixel 5 might be a different story, but that scares me with the Pixel 5 because if this is any indicator, if a $700 price tag for an LG Velvet is any indicator with a Snapdragon 765, what is the Pixel 5 going to be priced at? Because I don't, my hope was that the Pixel 5 was going to be priced under $500. That was my hope. And it kind of scares me to see where this is going to go. I really don't know. I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of where we're going right now. We won't know for sure, but that looks like this is what it's going to be. The event's going to be held tomorrow. I don't know where it's going to be held tomorrow or what time it's going to be held tomorrow, but we'll see. Let me scroll back up here. Yeah, so Tobas was saying LG must price this device for at least $450 to $500 in order for people to be interested in this phone. It's just when you go over that $500 price point, there's a lot of other options that opens up. A lot of other options. Hackney Man says here, I had a few of the LG G phones. I remember not getting regular updates. I wouldn't get another. Same, man. I mean, I said this a couple days ago or the other day on my stream. You know, I had the G5 and the G6, and it wasn't the most updated phone that I had. Y says, where do I drop the link? Just paste it in here. I don't think the whole link is going to show, but I'll try to piece it together. It shouldn't be that hard, I don't think. Goddamn, Will, Pixel 5, $899. Get out of here. I know Will's joking, but like Google is really awful with their pricing, and I really want Google to redeem themselves this year, but maybe it won't be the year. Maybe they're still going to price it at an ungodly amount, and I'm just going to bitch about that price again. And then they're going to drop it $300, and then I'll say this is what it should have been priced at in the first place. Yeah, Luca Katamadzi, am I saying that right? Luca, I don't think any Pixel will cost around $500 ever. That's my wishful thinking, man. You know, again, the reason I thought it was going to be $500 is because they're not going to be putting a Snapdragon 800 chipset in there. But now that this LG Velvet, they're pricing it at that price, it's just like, oh, now my optimism for that Pixel 5 might not be there. So who knows? Anyway, Luca, welcome to the stream, man. I don't know if I've seen you in here before, but appreciate you stopping by. Thanks again. Metal Crib says, no doubt, man. I completely agree with you. I didn't realize the 7T was 500. Yeah, man. If you're looking for something that's actually going to last you a longer time, because who knows how long that Snapdragon 665 chipset is going to last you. I don't know if it's going to still be performing decently 2 years down the road, but a 7T at $500, I can almost guarantee that a year down the road, a year and a half, that thing is still going to be flying. That's a very enticing price, and no doubt I'm very excited for the 4A. I just hope it doesn't have dragon tail glass again. Yeah, I who knows? Hackney Man says here, the Pixel 4 XL is 929 pounds in the UK. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Google cranked up their prices for the 5. Will says, now I'm telling you the truth. It's not going to be $899, man. Get out of here. It's not going to be $899. Maybe for the 4XL or the 5XL. I would be, no, that's it. No. A Y29 says it doesn't let me. We'll post on your latest camera comparison. Yeah, go ahead and do that. I'll try to pop in there and take a look. But it will be on Black Friday, or buy it on Black Friday. Yeah. Metal Crib says that price point for the Velvet doesn't seem like a very smart move considering the V60 starts at $800 personally. Yeah. I don't think the Velvet should be more than $600. I mean, I think LG is trying to bet that people want to buy it because of how nice it is, how good it looks, how well the design is. But still, you got to look under the hood of this phone. The phone is still, it's still not up to par. It really isn't. Y says I can check it now. Okay, give me 1 second, Y. Let me check it real quick here. Let me get out of here real quick. Let me put you on full screen so you guys can see how pretty I am. Just kidding. Let me pull up this. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Newest first. I still don't have it. Oh, it's because it's I don't think it'll show you the you know what? Why send me a DM on Instagram if you have Instagram. Phone Jerome, you can find me there. My name is right there. You can send me a DM there. I want to get to it, but I don't know if I'm going to have a chance today, but we'll see. So where's my head at? Okay, next story. And then I will do a little marketing thing again because it's something I have to do. So I don't have to do it, but it's a way to help promote myself. So this article from GSM Arena is talking about a Poco M2 Pro. I don't even know there was an M series here, but a Poco M2 Pro is an upcoming mid-range handset with a Snapdragon 720G SoC. While we wait for the Poco F2 Pro flagship release, and I think that's coming out later this month too, which apparently the Poco F2 Pro is going to cost like $700 again, which is actually a really good point. This Poco F2 Pro is slated to be around $700, but it's going to have a Snapdragon 865. And you're going to price an LG Velvet at $700 with a Snapdragon 700 series? No. There seems to be another Poco device in the works, and it's called the Poco M2 Pro. The name briefly appeared on Xiaomi's official Indian website, where it has a data of its SAR testing. It has since been removed, but it sparked an investigation at XDA developers. It turns out that the phone has a model number, blah, blah, blah. It's codenamed Graham. Interestingly enough, the name has been hiding in plain sight, and there's proof that the Xiaomi has been working on the phone for a while. There's a firmware ready for the Gram and has also appeared in a kernel source, blah, blah, blah. So this has led the investigators to believe that the Redmi Note 9 Pro and the Poco M2 Pro are closely related and may share some hardware, such as the chipset, meaning the Poco M2 Pro might come out with a Snapdragon 720G on board. Then again, the phone might be running another system on chip with compatible software. Have any of you owned a Poco phone? Have any of you owned a Poco F1? Was there a Poco M1? Am I missing something? I've never owned any of these phones, so I'm just curious if any of you did. Was it good? Did it have its own UI? Was it stock Android? I have so many questions. There was a good, I think, 6 to 9 months I was out of the phone game. I just had left because I got busy with work and doing my own shit. But, during this time, I really wasn't too involved, so I don't know much about Poco. So, okay, let me see here. Y says done again. Okay, I will check my Instagram in a second here. Toba says if the LG Velvet has a Snapdragon 865, then it's going to be $950. Yeah, and I wouldn't pay that money for it. Too expensive. Mint Arcade says, so Poco F equals flagship and Poco M equals mid-range. Hey, I like that. You're probably right. That's a really good point, or a really good observation, unless that's what they meant to do and you knew that already. But I don't know. Okay, let me pull up my Instagram here real quick because I want to see this chipset that Y was talking about here. So, okay. Oh, it's a Dimensity 2000. All right, let's share that here. I'm gonna go ahead and add that in here. So this article is from Gizmo China. It's actually a site I don't use, but we'll talk about it. And but real quick, before I do talk about it, real quick, guys, if you guys don't know, I recently launched a subscription service, or so a membership for YouTube, so you could be a member on my YouTube channel if you'd like. If you notice, like Mint Arcade, if you look at his chat, his name is in green, or Brian's name is in green, and he has a little red Chicago star. And, that's a way to support me. You can do that for 99 cents a month. It'll also give you access to, not only do you get that, red Chicago star, but you get like other emoji that you can use in the chat, in the live stream, and anytime you comment, you're going to get that red star too. It's just a small perk, but there are other tiers as well. For $5, you get access to my private Discord, and then there are higher tiers as well. Just thought I'd share. If you guys need a link to it, you can click the join button. If you can't find it, you can go to youtube.com/phone Jerome/join. All right. I'll leave that there. And let's talk about this Mediatek chipset. So I knew that Mediatek was talking about releasing their Mediatek Dimensity 1000, which was supposed to be their flagship, but I guess they got a new one coming tomorrow. So Mediatek to announce new processors on May 7th, Dimensity 2000 tipped to launch. New Mediatek processors are coming. The Taiwanese semiconductor company has announced that it has an online event scheduled for early next month, and there are reports new processors are expected to be unveiled. The event will be held on May 7th between 2:30 and 3:30. I'm assuming that's in China. I don't know what time that is here. The poster doesn't reveal much, but has a text that roughly translates to 5G for all. So everybody's on board with 5G right now. And it's no surprise that these chipsets are going to be 5G capable as well. More powerful versions of the Dimensity 800 and Dimensity 1000. In a Weibo post, he said, in addition to the already announced Dimensity 1000L, the Dimensity 800, and the Dimensity 1000, which is yet to appear in a phone, there are also versions of the Dimensity 1000 and Dimensity 800 with higher clock speeds. That's a lot to say, in production. So they're going to have different variants of these Dimensity 1000s, kind of like a Snapdragon 855 and an 855 Plus. That seems like too many maybe they just got to add more letters into it. The Dimensity 800 has a clock speed of 2 gigahertz for its Cortex A76 cores and Cortex A55 cores. This new version may push the clock speed of the performance cores to 2.2 or 2.3. On the other hand, the Dimensity 1000 clocks in at 2.6. So that's pretty fast, along with 4 Cortex A55 cores at 2.2 gigs. Mediatek may decide to increase the clock speeds. So, okay, let's talk about this 2000. This is their newer one. The leaker also revealed there is an entry-level processor called the MT6853 in production. However, the one you should be excited about is the Dimensity 2000, which should be its most powerful chipset ever. There are no details about the chipset, but we're excited nonetheless. My question is, what phones are they going to put this in? I mean, they're talking about this Dimensity 1000, but it's not in a phone yet, or the Dimensity 800. I mean, it's not to say that, they're not going to put it in phones, because obviously they will, but I wonder if any of these are even going to be coming to the States either. And what phones have this 800 in there now? And what is that comparable to? I have so many questions, guys. I don't know. This is me trying to soak in the knowledge, soak in what's coming out, but that's cool to see. So hopefully tomorrow, then that'll be another thing to talk about, is how fast this Dimensity 2000 will be. And maybe they'll talk about what phones they plan to put it in. So, yeah, interesting article. Why 2019. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate you sharing that. Okay, let's move on here. Okay, something different, not about phones. We're going to talk about Microsoft here, and this article from Mediatek is, it looks like they're refreshing their Surface line. So a Surface Book 3, a Surface Go 2, plus accessories. I don't know much about the Surface lineup. I don't know if you guys do either. This morning, Microsoft is announcing a refresh on a couple more of their Surface products that did not get updated back in October. Surface Book 3 and Surface Go 2 will be making their way onto the shelves of the Microsoft Store this month, with the updated Surface Go 2 available May 12th. So what is that? Next week? About a week from now, along with the new accessories and the Surface Book 3 coming on May 21st. The smallest member of the Surface family is getting some nice updates. Microsoft has shrunk the bezels. It's always a good thing, slightly, and fit a 10.5-inch display in the same size device as the original generation. So it's a 1920 by 1280, keeping the 3:2 aspect ratio Surface is known for. So it's going to have Okay, so this is a lower end model here. Uh, what is this pricing at? For 8 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs internal, starting. Okay, that's why it's $400. And what is this? This is the Surface Go 2. It's hard for me to kind of get into the small the slower ones because so like I edit video, and because I edit video I need something with more power. Maybe this is something that's good for like browsing or just like simple media, consumption. But yeah, at $400, I mean, I'm not a tablet guy. I don't own a lot of I don't own a tablet. I do have a MacBook Pro, which I have back there, and then I have a PC. I have a custom built PC that I built like 2.5 years ago, and that was like a $2,500 PC that I built. Other than that, those are the two things I use. One of the biggest knocks against the first generation was its lackluster performance, and Microsoft is offering 2 new processor options. So yeah, again, not the biggest, but yeah, $400. What are you going to expect? The Surface Book 3, one of the nicest laptops available, and today's refresh does not mess with what worked. So this is going to start with an i5, no GPU, and then you could get an i7 here, 1.3 to 3. Okay, so it has a good amount. So starting at $1,600, that's way over my price limit at this point. But yeah, just thought I'd share. So yeah, for people who might be, in the market for a new laptop or maybe a new tablet, some other options that you guys can take a look at. So there's also something called Surface Headphones 2. I didn't even know there was a first generation of it. Microsoft launched the Surface headphones back in 2018. Well, there you go. And for 2020, they've updated them to the Surface Headphones 2. The new models feature the same noise canceling features with 13 levels of active noise cancellation, which can be adjusted with on-ear dials. Microsoft has improved the sound quality and battery life for this generation. And the new headphones now feature up to 20 hours of battery life. So I saw these, which actually, have you guys seen these? These are the Surface earbuds, and they're huge. And I don't think they're made for music. They're made for like wireless talk or like during video conferencing or something like that. Damn it, there's no picture of someone wearing them, because when I saw someone wear them, I'm just like, okay, that's huge on someone's face. Surface earbuds. I'm trying to find a picture real quick here. Here we go. So, yeah, I guess it's just an earpiece to put on. They look like big versions of the now Pixel Buds, but I don't know. Or they look like, what do you call those? Not earrings. I'm forgetting. But you guys, I was going to say, you know what I'm talking about, but no, you don't know what I'm talking about, or most people probably don't. Fuck, why can't it? Whatever. It's fine. We'll move on. Surface earbuds. Headphones aren't your thing. Now there's earbuds, $199. Surface Dock 2, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Moving on. Let's talk about Google Meet and Google Duo. Okay, let me go through chat real quick here. Why is saying Dimensity 800 is on an Oppo phone? Yeah, I don't know what that's comparable to though. Which Oppo phone? And what is that? When you talk about a Dimensity 800, what is that comparable to in a Snapdragon chipset? I'm just not sure. So I'm just wondering. So Y says here, my predictions are Dimensity 1000s or 1500s and 800s or 900s, the new Helio A and Dimensity 2000. It's still really foreign to me because I don't know those chipsets really well, but I'll do a little research. I'll look into it. So I do appreciate you sharing that info. Surface Pro 3 got rave reviews. That's good to know. I wonder how it fares against the Dell, right? The XPS 13 and XPS 15, because apparently the Dell XPS 13, the Dell XPS 15, those are supposedly the laptops that are like the MacBooks of Windows. But yeah, I've always heard good things about Surface hardware as well. I just don't know too much about them. Mince Arcade says, anyone into putting coins on their ear? Will says that's way too big. It is. Yeah, I don't know who would be using that. I really don't. They look ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. Not something I'd be using. Luca Katamadzi is saying there was a rumor about OnePlus Z having a new Mediatek chipset. Yeah, I had discussed this in a previous stream. they were talking about putting the Dimensity 1000 or the Dimensity 1000L in it. I think the Dimensity 1000, but they're deciding between that new chip and the 765. And so, yeah, there's a lot of rumors now that they're going to get the 765 instead. And I think it's because Qualcomm has lowered their prices, and maybe they feel like that would be the better option to go with the 765. But I guess we'll see when this OnePlus Z comes, and that's slated for July. And who knows what that's going to price at. My hope was they were going to price it at $379, but maybe that whole notion of that price is now out the door because of this goddamn Velvet pricing at $700. But who knows? Who knows? Okay. This article from Android Central, I wanted to talk about this because I am just not happy with a lot of Google stuff, because they're known for making, good products, and then they kill it. Then they'll make another one, and then they'll kill it. And then now it's just like, I don't trust what Google's putting out because I'm afraid they're just going to kill it. But, I've been hearing good things for a while about Google Duo. And, now there's Google Meet, which is something that was only meant for enterprise, or at least for now, and they were going to eventually integrate it. But now you can get it for, ever since this whole pandemic happened and Zoom came and has been taking, video conferencing by storm, Google decided, well, we might as well compete in the space now. So Google Meet versus Google Duo, which one is best for you? Google Meet is a fantastic service for large-scale meetings. Google Duo is better suited for mobile video calls or casual conversations. The service now lets you make video calls with up to 12 members. For Google Meet, it works natively in a browser, lets you easily share your screen, has robust collaboration tools, and now offers a grid layout for calls. Why can't we just have one for both? And why can't people use one for casual and one for business? Why? Why do we have to have two different ones? Why not use the technology for both and give it to everybody so that people aren't like, hey, here's Zoom for business and Zoom for personal, and let's call them two different names so we can confuse the fuck out of people. I just don't understand their logic between that, or within it. I don't understand it. So Google Meet is now free for everyone, works natively in a browser, blah, blah, blah. This has fun AR filters, now works with 12 participants. I just don't know why they can't put both. It needs a Google account for Google Meet. Some features required a paid plan, not suited for large scale meetings. Yeah. So I don't know, two Google services for two different use cases. If you want my opinion, I just think it's just confusing for the consumer, really. That's all it is for me. And to think about all the different teams. So like, if you like Google Duo, which I've heard is really good, it lacks all of these features. You can't integrate with email. Okay, maybe that's the only thing. There's no whatever this is. No email integration, whatever. But again, why not combine the two? I just think that would be the better deal there, or the better call, in my opinion. Okay, moving on. So this article from The Verge is talking about Ring, and they've improved their $100 entry-level doorbell, and it adds a solar charger. I don't know if any of you guys use Ring or any of you use it now, but apparently there's a new version. So a new entry-level version, basically a video doorbell, 2 for half the price. And it has a $49 solar charger. Ring is relaunching its original video doorbell, first introduced in 2014, so an update after 6 years, which features found in its more expensive doorbells without raising the price. That's great. It includes 1080p video, improved night vision, and motion zones for $100. It's also introducing a new $50 solar charger that frames and powers the doorbell, which is also cool. The new video doorbell can run off rechargeable battery or hardwired connection and supports two-way talk with noise cancellation. It also features privacy and motion zones to help fine-tune alerts and recordings. So basically, it's the $200 video doorbell 2, which is now discontinued, for half the price. The video doorbell 3 offers better Wi-Fi performance and motion tracking for $200. And you can pre-order it now for $100, and it goes live on June 3rd. And then the $49 solar charger will be available later in July. Just thought I'd share. This doesn't really pertain to me because I have lived in apartments pretty much my entire life. So I don't use a Ring doorbell, but for people that do, a good feature to have or a good product to have. I've heard good things about it, except it really increases paranoia in people, I think. I don't know. I guess it just depends on the person. So anyway, moving on. Well, let me go through chat here real quick. Y29 says the Snapdragon 765 is more powerful, than the 800? Good to know. Mint Arcade says maybe Google is still in A/B testing phase after all of these years. Yeah, I don't know. Dimensity 800 is comparable to the Snap 765. Thank you, Y. Thank you for sharing that. Mint Arcade is asking, isn't Ring the one that got hacked a lot last year? Did not I think Ring did. I think Nest did as well. Everything's getting hacked. Everything is. And I think a lot of that is because the servers aren't as secure. The passwords aren't as secure. I think people who buy this, they just want the easiest setup and they're not thinking about, updating their passwords, or they're leaving the passwords as default. And then you have those people who end up hacking those Nest cams and they're talking to people and watching people like in their bedrooms and shit, or their kids' bedrooms. And that is like creepy shit. Like I'm sure you guys seen the stories. Those are not easy to read or watch or whatever. Okay. This article from BGR is talking about Apple's finalized iPhone 12 Pro design. I feel like we've seen this before. I didn't read this article, so I just figured we'd go through it. Apple's iPhone 12 release date is almost certainly delayed. We knew about that. Probably going to be sometime at the end of October. Production has supposedly been pushed back a month. Yes, we've talked about that already. Recent renders of the iPhone 12 Pro showed us a stunning new look. I don't really know if it's a stunning new look. Maybe more updated and a little more modern, but it's still a notch with smaller bezels. And now it seems certain, and with like an older school design, right? So it's not as rounded, more of the older iPhone design, which still looks good, but stunning and new. Come on. Reports have been going back for months regarding the timing of Apple's upcoming iPhone 12 release. Several reports from reliable sources said that Apple's release timing has been pushed back from its normal mid-September timeframe. Blah, 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 blah. We've gone through this many times. If you're an Apple if you're an Apple fan, maybe, who had been keeping your fingers crossed that the first redesigned iPhone line since 2017 would hit store shelves on time, this new report is likely to ruin your day. So a lot of fluff in this article. For those who might have missed it, we gave our readers a peek earlier. Who wrote this goddamn article? The grammar here is just proofreader shit. There are more than a dozen graphic designers known for creating renders of unreleased smartphones, but none are anywhere near as good as Jonas Dainert, I think. His renders are by far the most realistic ones out there, and he also tries to stick mainly to confirmed into I'm about to give up on this article because it's so poorly written. Danley recently turned his attention to the iPhone 12 Pro, and we already shared the stunning results with you. Here's a refresher. So yeah, it's more of a square design, right? And I think one of this is LiDAR, if I'm not mistaken. As numerous rumors from solid sources that date all the way back to Ming-Chi Kuo's reports last year, Apple's new iPhone 12 series is expected to merge the display design and the large square rear camera arrays with the flat metal edges from the iPhone 5. The notch on the display is expected to be a bit smaller than it is on the iPhone 11, so smaller notch, smaller bezels, and it'll reportedly add a LiDAR sensor, and that's exactly what Dainert drew up. If you've been following Apple rumors lately, you've undoubtedly noticed that there are some new faces who have been leaking iPhone 12 info. You might also not entirely trust them since they're still in the process of building track records. That said, there's another source that suggests this is indeed what Apple iPhone 12 Pro will look like when it finally launches. What source, you might ask? It's Apple. Oh, really? Really? If you don't recall, the illustrations above were pulled out of a leaked iOS 14 code. That's right. Last month by developers who had access to the code. I feel like this is just the same article rehashed into different wording. At this point, given all the leaks and rumors we've seen all over the web from sources with solid track records, it's more than safe at this point to say that the design has been finalized. It's not a bad looking design. I mean, I'm for it. It's typical from Apple year over year. It's, you know, more of a rehash, a refresh, but still looks good. So, Mint Arcade says iPhone 12 a notch better than the rest. Oh God, I'm waiting for I'm waiting for a company to release a flagship with a good pop-up camera. That's not going to happen. That's me me wishful thinking. Not going to happen. So, okay, 2 articles left, and these are both from Mint Arcade. And this actually, Mint Arcade, I actually saw this article, and then I kind of passed it because I wasn't really looking into a Snap 600 series, but it's worth talking about too because of the camera, I think. So Sony Taiwan announced Xperia 10 Mark II earlier today, where it's expected to cost 11,490 yuan. Am I saying that right? Yuan, I think so. Which is 385 US dollars, which is pretty goddamn cheap, which is slightly cheaper than the pricing we saw announced for Europe yesterday. While we still don't have an official European release date, Sony confirmed that the Xperia 10 Mark II will hit Taiwan on May 20th. So 2 weeks from now. Taiwan will also get 2 new colors of the Xperia 10 Mark II, as well as the black and white models that have been announced for Europe. There's no confirmation if we'll see blue and green in Europe, but they may still yet surface as part of specific carrier deals. The Taiwanese media were treated to an extensive hands-on experience of the Xperia 10 Mark II, and you can see some of the first official camera samples from the phone below. So this new introduction, a new introduction for the Xperia camera is a night mode functionality where Sony is using AI for low light images. That's good to know. Sony has their own AI rather than superimposing multiple pictures, which can be affected by camera shake. We're keen to see more of the camera once the handset's released. So these are full resolution images, which you can download by clicking the relevant image. You'll find photos taken from each of its triple rear camera setup, including some low light pictures. Okay, so are these the samples? No, these are just pictures of the phone, right? Okay, so here are the samples. Here's a low light shot. Oh, this is real. Oh, they give you the whole shot here. So a little soft, but it doesn't look bad from afar. I don't know if they're talking about like, God damn it. How do I have to go back like this? Okay. So this is the main versus the ultra wide. Wait, what? Top, middle, bottom. There are 2 pictures here. What am I missing here, Mint Arcade? Why does this not? Okay, I don't know. This picture here is obviously better. You can see this is blown out. I don't know. God damn it. I'm reading it from the wrong way. Automatic mode left versus night mode right. God damn it. Okay. So here's automatic mode, night mode. Obviously night mode is a lot better. And this looks really good for a night shot. Zoomed in. It's pretty decent. This is actually really nice. And I know these are sample photos from Sony, so who knows how the actual pictures are going to turn out, but it's not a bad shot at all, especially for a night shot. So here's the main shooter, which also looks really good versus ultra wide, which also doesn't look bad at all. And what's this one? This last one's a telephoto. They're decent shots. Front facing selfie camera doesn't look bad. It's a little blown out here, but it's not bad at all, especially when the focus is right here. Other sample pictures. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, they're good looking pictures. I guess I'm just, yeah, I know Mint Arcade title on the top. God damn it. My bad. They look good. I just want to see how people actually use the phone, right? Like actual users and the camera samples for that. Cause it's not bad at all. Especially the night shot. This looks pretty good. I would love to see how it performs at night. You know me, I'm such a sucker for testing these phones. And if I could test every camera phone in the world, I would. I feel like I would give every phone a real thorough test, but time, money. I don't have either of those. I don't get paid enough to do camera comparison tests. And, it is what it is. So, Y says here, this price would be good if the Xperia had a 7 series Snapdragon, but it has a 665. So that's kind of how I feel too. It's a good price, 385. But I'd like to see a 700 series chipset in there. But if this camera is supposedly as good as these sample photos are, then somebody might buy it for its camera. What is a Pixel 3a running? A Snapdragon 660? Something like that. And that's priced at $399 as well. So this last article here from Giz China is talking about the Sony Xperia 10 Mark II released in Taiwan to hit the shelves on May 20th. I think this is pretty similar. Japanese manufacturer Sony officially released the Sony Xperia 10 Mark II today in Taiwan. The company released a video on its official Weibo to announce the launch. And then $384 US. So a 6-inch OLED 21:9 display, and then a triple rear camera, right? Is that a triple camera? The 3 cameras are an 8 megapixel ultra wide. Yeah, that's right. A 12 megapixel main camera with PDAF, phase detection, autofocus, and an 8 megapixel 2x optical zoom telephoto. Sony claims the Xperia 10 Mark II is about 10% lighter. The battery is 3,600 milliamp hours, which is 25% higher than last year. I want to know more about the camera. So it is an octa-core Snap 665. So it's not the fastest chipset in the world, but again, we're talking $385 here. 4 gigs of RAM, which is a little low. At least there's 128 gigs of internal storage. See, that's the thing. It's hard for me because I'm looking at a $400 price point, and I know that I can get a 700 series at a $400 price point, but who knows how good this camera is. If this camera is superior, then it's worth a look, right? I thought there were going to be more camera samples. I appreciate you sharing this, Mint Arcade, because again, like if these camera samples are as good as they are in real life, it's definitely worth a look and it's definitely worth a test. If I could get my hands on one, I'd love to. I really would, but I don't think it's going to be available here. I don't even know what the big phone for Sony is in the US right now is, or what's even available. I'm not sure. The Pixel 3a, yeah. So that has a Snapdragon 660 or something, 600 series. I'm not sure. Mint Arcade says Xperia 10 is the light version of the Xperia 1. At that price, the image quality is as decent as claimed. It'll be attractive. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. So like there's kind of a trade-off, right? There's a sacrifice on the chipset and the camera. I would love to have a good one on both, but I guess these companies got to make sacrifices somewhere when it comes to the price. But Mint Arcade, the one thing I would love to do is get my hands on a Sony camera again or a Sony phone again, because it's been a while. And Sony has really been upping its game when it comes to the smartphone market, or not the smartphone market, the mirrorless camera market. They make some of the best cameras right now, compared to like what Sony's coming out with, what Canon's coming out with, what Nikon's coming out with. And I would love to see them. I would love to see how these phones, especially the cameras in these phones, I would love to see how they have adapted their technology in Sony mirrorless cameras to their smartphone segment. I would love to see how that would work. Okay. So that's it, guys. I think that's it for today. What am I going to say? I'm trying to think of my outro real quick. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Want to thank everybody for joining. Want to thank everybody for saying hi, liking the video, subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe. I do stream Monday through Friday around 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. And then real quick, for those that don't know, I did start a membership for my channel. And if you see in the chat, some people have a green name next to them or a red Chicago star, and that's part of being a member. It's only 99 cents a month, and you get that perk. Plus you get like custom emoji. And then you also depending on the tier, you get other access to my private Discord and other stuff. If you need to join, you just click that join. If you want to join, you just click the join button. Otherwise, you can go to youtube.com/PhoneJerome/join. Otherwise, that's it. I do want to thank everybody again. I want to thank Brian for the super chat earlier. That support always means so much to me. And I think that's it. Mint Arcade says real quick here, Xperia 1 Mark II is getting Sony Alpha Series tech, which is what I'm looking forward to. That's really what I'm waiting to see. So we'll see. Otherwise, I think that's it. I'll leave it there. I want to thank everyone again. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but I will see you guys tomorrow, 12 p.m. Central, around 12 p.m. Central, around 12 to 1 p.m. Central. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, guys.